have to see this. This is Finn. We're about to show. Oh my goodness, take a look at him. He's a resident of the Oklahoma City Zoo. And this week, the zoo's 8th caretaker took over their Instagram, and we are all loving that they did. And as you can see, Finn was fascinated.
Definitely ready for his close-up.
Kind of looks like you. We didn't see the picture.
I'm here this morning because I want to apologize, not only to my co-anchor, Jason, but to our entire community. I said something yesterday that was inconsiderate, it was inappropriate, and I hurt people. And I want you to know I understand how much I hurt you out there and how much I hurt you. I love you so much, and you have been one of my best friends for the past year and a half, and I would never do anything on purpose to hurt you. And I love our community, and I want you all to know, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize for what I said. I know it was wrong, and I am so sorry.
Well, Alex, thank you very much, and I do accept your apology, and I do appreciate your apology. I want to let everybody out there know that Alex is one of my best friends. I mean, we do what we do here, and you know, it's not as if we see each other here and then we leave and we go home. We talk every day, or almost every other day. I've told you things. I've shared things with you as a friend, and I do appreciate you, and I do love you. All that being said, and Alex would be the first to admit to this to you, what she said yesterday was wrong. It cut deep for me, and it cut deep for a lot of you in the community. I've heard the phone calls, and I've heard the Facebook messages as well. And I guess coming out of this, I want this to be a teachable moment. And that lesson here is that words matter. There's no doubt about that. Changing demographics here in this country, the demographics are changing. We're becoming a more diverse country. And there's no excuse. We have to understand the stereotypes. We have to understand each other's backgrounds and the words that hurt, the words that cut deep. And we have to find a way to replace those words with love and words of affirmation as well. You know, what we do here as broadcasters, we use words. Words are the tools of our trade. Much like a plumber would use a wrench or a doctor would use a scalpel, we use words. And our goal and what we need to do is use those words not to hurt and not to divide, but to build a more perfect union.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for checking out another podcast of We Ain't Scared Talk, where we ain't scared. My name is A1, and first let me say thank you to everybody that supports this podcast. I appreciate you, and I am hopeful that you have subscribed. If you have not, please do. Thank you to everyone that has purchased and picked up their We Ain't Scared Talk mug. If you have not, you need that mug. You need this mug. Get it. It's strong. Your hot drinks are going to be happy. Your drinks are going to smile at you as you gulp them down. All right, so let me go and jump into today's podcast. Now, I'm very transparent and clear, and I had so many technical difficulties with this podcast that anytime that happens, it tells me that this is going to be a very impactful podcast, because 90% of the time I hit play, record, and it just goes. This time I was fighting. So I've said this before, if you want something bad enough, you will wrestle with it, you will fight with it until you get what you want. So with that being said, that opening commentary was from, as I pull up some of my notes here, and I was so upset, I didn't even have any notes, extensive. I got literally a page and a half of scribble. That was, let me see, TV anchor, and let's see, this is in Oklahoma, and KOCO TV morning anchor Alex Housden apologized to her co-anchor Jason Hackett after comparing him to a gorilla during a broadcast, and this was on a Thursday. The racist comment occurred after the pair reported on a story about a gorilla at the Oklahoma City Zoo. And as you heard on that audio, Housden ended the segment with the comment, "Kind of looks like you." And that was directed at Hackett. He kind of does, actually. Hackett hesitantly responded. Okay, so we're going to stop there. Yes, she made the comment, and it was way out of line. But then the brother, instead of immediately calling her out on the inappropriate comment, tried to save the segment, which was terrible, by saying, he kind of does actually, yeah. He didn't help the situation. So, I'm going to leave this article to the side for just a moment. I'm going to come back to it. The title of this podcast is, "Are White Tears More Important Than Black People's Emotions?" Again, are white tears more important than black people's emotions? Now, this is outrageous, and this is where I'm going to start with this. I'm glad she apologized, but it should never have been said in the first place. There are too many white people in this country that become too familiar with black people. And just because you work with somebody day in and day out as a white person dealing with black people does not give you permission to insult us, degrade us, humiliate us, and to tear us down racially. My personal feeling is she should have been fired, period. I think when they came off air, the producers should have called her into human resources and summarily fired her. It was unacceptable. Thousands of people from all over that city saw that, and now the country. And you humiliated this man. He will forever be associated, infamously. Oh, that's the gorilla referenced actor, or excuse me, anchor. Okay, number two, and again, I don't really have any straight notes. I'm just have bullet points here. He said in his response to her apology, "This is a teachable moment. I'm so sick and tired of black people teaching white people how to act like they got some sense and show some respect and common decency. I'm done with teachable moments. We have been going at this in terms of demanding respect for over 400 years. There are no more teachable moments. Black people are not responsible for teaching white people how to act like they have some fucking common sense. That is done. We are not your teacher. And for her to come on in these tearful, "I'm so sorry. Please, I know." She wasn't sorry. She wasn't sorry for what she said. What she was sorry about was that she might potentially lose her job. That's where the emotions came from. She was scared that she may get fired. And I've had online or social media conversations about this, and people were defending her. Black people were defending her, which was shocking to me. They said, well, her body language, her tone of voice, though, her white tears, though. She cried. And she said, "This is my best friend. And for the last year and a half, we bonded together." No, you haven't. Because best friends don't insult each other like that. And what it really goes to prove, as we all know, a black man or black people subconsciously, in the minds of white people, we're still perceived as inferior animals, which is absolute bullshit. It is black people that made white people. It is black people that made the country of America with 3 Ks habitable for white people. It is black people that created the economy against our will, that white people thrive in. It is black people that are the ones who have to carry the burden of white guilt. And my attitude, and y'all know me, everybody listening to this podcast knows me. Zero tolerance for white guilt and zero tolerance for white fragility. Get the fuck out of here with that. White America has deferred reparations, repairing the damage of slavery for almost 400 years. We had 250 years of slavery and another 50 years, 150 years of immense torture, immense brutality, civil, legal, political harassment, police brutality. There are no more teachable moments. How can you live in a country when we have access to every piece of information that you could ever want to have? We are more diverse in this country than we ever have been in the history of America. And we still have white people, and I will say white women, because that's who said it. Not that some white men don't feel the same. And you let slip out, he kind of looks like you. That's not a friend. You don't do that. And again, she should have been fired because white people, let me be honest here, because we ain't scared of the truth. They have to start losing their jobs. They have to start getting fired. They have to start getting hit in their pockets, their money. Same way with police brutality. Those cops that murder unarmed black people have got to start going to jail. And they also, in my opinion, have got to start getting the death penalty. If you're convicted of murder, why would you not get the death penalty? Life without parole, to me, is still an easy road. But I don't want to digress. White tears, and especially when it's white women. I'm gonna say things here, and I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. The white female is held on this pedestal of this is the standard, right? This is the gold standard. And some people will hear that and they'll say, well, Mark, you sound like you just don't like what. Look, I don't like what white people do. I don't like what white people do and how they have treated black people. I have yet to see many or en masse a group of white people come out and rally around reparations, rally around black people being respected. There was no outrage in the white community against her for what she said. So if you really want to know how white people feel, all you have to do is watch how white people feel and how they react when another white person attacks or insults a black person. That's how you know how white people as a group feel. Because there was no outrage. Black people were upset, but I didn't see not one person, not one white person on social media, at least from what I could see. I got Facebook, I got Twitter, I got Instagram. I have damn near every social media platform you can have. And I don't recall one white person saying this white lady was out of line. Now, it doesn't say it didn't exist, but as a group. But you make a joke, Dave Chappelle, Sticks and Stones, about the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community, those white people come out fiercely and loudly, which is hypocritical. And you know me, I write and I've done comedy. I've done stand-up. And I support Dave. And I know I'm digressing a little bit, but it's still tied to this. Nobody is above a joke. See, you can't have it both ways. You can't laugh at something, you can't insult something and then expect for it to love you. See, that news reporter insulted this man and still expects his friendship. That's where I'm going with that. She attacked him, humiliated him, degraded him, but you better damn well believe she still expects for them to be friends. And if it was me, fuck that. We ain't friends no more. Because see, your heart will eventually speak. What's in your mind and your subconscious and what's really in your heart about how you feel about a person. Even though you claim to be progressive, that's the word that they use. Well, no, we're a progressive society. No, the fuck we're not. We're not progressive. And guess what? I don't even know why we even use that word. We are a racist country. And white folks are they are racist. And some people say, well, not all of them. Look, I didn't say all. But see, what's happening now is it's become so insidious and subversive. It's no longer the glaring, I hate these niggas. Well, sometimes it is under Trump, yeah. But I'm saying in the media, it's little jabs, it's little jokes, it's little sneers, it's little smirks, it's little head nod. It's very subtle. But as I say and have said, all it takes a drop of oil to ruin an entire gallon of clean water. That's all it takes. And this white lady is not this black man's friend. And we're going to talk about body language. I looked at his body language. And I told you I'm reading these various books about race and racial sort of tendencies of America or society. And even his demeanor is very weak. It's a very accommodating body language, hunched over shoulders. I don't want to come off too strong. I don't want to come off too aggressive. I don't want to come off as unamenable. I don't want to come off as that threatening black man. See, that's the trick of it all. See, he talked to his agent and he talked to his people and see what black people do, which irritates the fuck out of me, is we always coddle white fuck-ups. We always coddle it. We do. Well, it's a teachable moment. No, it's not a teachable moment. It is a racist moment. And there needs to be consequence. I had someone ask me online, well, what do you think should have happened? Well, how do you think she should have been fired? And she should be looking for another job. Black people don't get the benefit of black fragility. Black people don't get the benefit of being felt sorry for. And you see a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman crying on national TV or local TV, and all of a sudden, oh, but she's crying. You're damn right she's crying. She fucked up. People can cry and be guilty of racism. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't suffer the consequence. You know how many black men and women have cried on the stand, I'm innocent, and they still sent them to jail for 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Only to be found out later that they were innocent? Tears don't mean that you get off. At least not for us. See, we don't get the benefit of crying and tears, and then okay, all right, well, that's enough. Okay, well, let them go. All right, well, they get a pass. Okay, well, sure, come on. Black man choked to death, crying, I can't breathe. Did he get a pass? No, he lost his fucking life. Black people cry and have been crying for over 400 years. You kill the babies, our sons, our daughters. Do white folks come out and say, oh, but no, leave them alone? No, they don't. They don't give a fuck. And people say, well, not all white. Look, I need to hear from y'all then. All the ones that are saying, but that's not all of us, then I need to hear from your ass. Because if you don't speak up, then it is all of you. Period. If you never speak out, it is all of you. People would rather say, not all cops are bad. than to say that that cops in general need to do better. And cops need to do better. All of them. But I don't want to digress here. This white woman was out of line. She should have been fired on the spot. I would have went to commercial, and when you came back on air, her chair would have been empty. Her chair would have been empty. And it would have just been, she's not here anymore. We got to stop coddling this bullshit. An insult like that, how can you be friends? Seriously, how can you be? If you think about the white people that are listening to this, if you suddenly called one of your black friends and said, oh, that gorilla kind of looks like you, would you expect for them to remain friends with you? Seriously, would you expect for them to remain friends with you? White ignorance, white guilt, white fragility has got to be called out, and it's got to be dealt with. There is a sickness, and it is the Stockholm Syndrome that has permeated this country, where black people who have been oppressed by white America are still in love and still fearful of white backlash. And that's the only reason why, even on social media, why black people, and I see it, they're still afraid to say, fuck the police. They're still afraid to say, fuck racism. They're still afraid to say, fuck America with 3 Ks. They're still afraid because they somehow think that somehow that's going to hurt them and their chance. No, racists don't give a damn. And you are holding on to whatever, oh, we just got to forgive and we have to show love. So you're going to show love to somebody that ain't showing love to you. You're stupid. See, I can show love if you show me love. But if you show me hate and ignorance, that's what I'm going to give back to you. I don't have this mentality anymore of I have to compensate for your inability to be understanding and empathetic and sympathetic to fucking racism. I don't subscribe to that anymore because it is crippling. It cripples you from dealing with the pain. If you go to a doctor with a broken leg and they say to the parent, if you take a child with a broken leg, oh, well, no, we're not going to put a cast on it. We just want you to carry this child around with you. And then we just kind of want to see how the leg heals on its own. No, you have to set the leg, then you have to put a cast on it for 6 to 8 weeks so it can heal properly. You have to deal with it. You can't coddle it because it will never set right. That's what we have to do with racism. You have to deal with it. And when black people coddle it, it's like dealing with a broken leg with no cast. And it's just you have to compensate by carrying the burden. Not carrying no burden. Get your shit fixed. Get it right. Get it tight. I don't like excuses because I don't get to live with them. I don't like people that say, well, no, she made a mistake. Well, we all make mistakes, of course. But that doesn't mean that mistakes are free of consequences. Mistakes have consequences. Black people don't get the benefit of a doubt from recovering from a mistake. And white folks have got to start feeling the same pain. If you don't feel any pain, meaning you loss of money, loss of job, loss of opportunity, because that's what's happening to black folks. I said that earlier. And then we're just, hey, figure it out. I would have told that blonde-haired, blue-eyed white lady, figure it out. Cry your tears in this cup so I can drink them and figure it out. There has to be zero tolerance. We've got to have zero tolerance. And honestly, I know what it is for black folks. I'm going to tell you, I know what it is. It's church. And that's what it is, church. Well, and we just got to you got to show forgiveness, and we have to. No, we don't. It's BS. I mean, y'all know how I feel about, church anyway, and the pimping that's going on, and what it's done to harm and hurt the black community. But that's another podcast. But the point is, this white lady, she need to lose her job and she need her hiney beat, because this is absolutely outrageous. And, even for the brother to say, oh, he kind of does, actually, yeah. Come on, bro. You better than that, bro. You better than that, bro. You ain't got a coon. You ain't got a coon for her. And honestly, can I keep it real? Maybe he's having sex with her. Really, maybe they having sex. You talk a lot. It's not a secret that anchors talk to each other. And maybe that's why she's so familiar. Why is that out of the question? I think that is it, to be honest. And she was comfortable enough insulting her boyfriend. And this is all supposition and speculation. But the truth is, she was too comfortable making that joke. She was too comfortable. And it's unacceptable. So the question, going back to the podcast, are white tears more important than black people's emotions? Hell no. And they never will be. Black people, you can fight for liberation, and you can fight for respect, and you can still pursue your passions. Don't matter what the white folks in the room think. It ain't about them. Don't hush your tone for nobody's comfort, especially theirs. We've done it for 400 years. It's over. It's done. I'm done. Zero tolerance, no exceptions whatsoever. All right. Well, I'm sure you got your own thoughts. And as usual, keep the conversation going. We need that. So I want to thank you for checking out another podcast of We Ain't Scared Talk. My name is A1, and you got some good food for thought. Listen again. Tell a friend. We ain't scared.